So, welcome back to a little update video today. Well, what a day. So, we will talk about AMC today, GME of course. We will make a little update on high-craft mining. We will make a little update on Trump media. We will talk shit about FFAI. And we will make a very interesting update on BYND. If you're interested, just stay tuned. So, as always, I'm using the Fractal Method. I will link the explanation video at the end of the video, as always, or you just search for the playlist Fractal Method on my channel. Well, then let's jump into AMC. So, today, as always, we will just make a little update what we did today for the whole thing with 1-part squeeze, 2-part squeeze, price targets, and. Just watch the long video from yesterday or the day before. Yeah? So let's zoom in. So before we start, just saying, we had a massive market knife today again. Yeah? I think it was nearly 1-2% for SPY, and in after hours we still knifing like hell. Same for crypto. Crypto knifed like hell, except our main memes, AMC, GME, cause didn't really care. Because, I mean, we got a pullback. We will come to this in a second. But with such a market knife, you would expect 20, 30, 50%. No. Okay, so for the tracking, what we had yesterday was that this was our A, this was our B. And that this is just our B pullback. Well, of course, this is not working anymore because B is never falling lower than A. So, but we still are holding our level. So, this is now just a little A, because we are over our T, we are over the wedge. So all in all, right now, still our January 29th, 23rd, last Friday, was still our bottom. We did a perfect higher low under the FIB 786. We broke out, went over the T. This is right now, in that second, still our A. So what are we doing now? Well, we make a pullback. So we have to bounce here on this trend line. And because this is the 30-minute, you have to bounce higher if we're not just knifing right now, but we have to bounce higher than 136, 1 cent away. Because if not, and you're breaking or touching 136, I tell you, tomorrow is Friday, we will make a new low. We will most likely 130 to 125. Then the same like this. This is wrong again, and we have to look for a new V and have to do the whole thing again. Let's see. If we bounce here, everything is still perfect and nice. What would happen after that? Well, this is just our little A. We still need our big higher low. I still think our big higher low is maximum 184 for the peak, and then we still have to pull back. After we finish this higher low, we will break out of this wedge. What wedge do I mean? I mean this wedge, which is formed since October 2025. And we will hit our head at the 200 AMA most likely, because this thing will come down. So right now I would expect 216-ish. This would be our A. And then we take our fib from our low to our A, 0.5 pullback. And then in that moment we did that, we squeeze. Yeah? As long as we're holding this level, so let's say tomorrow, we're holding this level, yeah, I see that next week we are doing the big high low. Yeah? If we're not suddenly doing tomorrow this, with big volatility, my personal opinion is there is no chance for anything big next week. I mean, something big. If we do that, that's still a 33% run. I know we're expecting all way, way more, but we still have to do this high low. Again, the same I said yesterday. When we have done this, yeah, I can live with it that we're not doing this pullback because of volatility and we're just breaking from here, fine. But what we need, in my opinion, is still this pullback. Yeah? If we're breaking to new all-time lows tomorrow, well, then in the best case, whole next week, we're doing the higher low. The week after, then the A, and so on and so on. Yeah? We just need confirmation. Yeah? We need the landmarks. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Volume is speeding it up or not. Again, the same what I showed yesterday or the day before, how this would look like. So here is 2020 and 2021 on the 1 hour chart. Yeah? So in the best case, we already did our bottom. We already did this little higher low. Yeah? And would be, not in the best case, in a normal way, we would be here in this pullback right now. In this pullback, just for it looks like. Yeah? This here would be our higher low. Yeah? So this candle here would be 180. Then pullback. And this thing here is the A. And this here is also the 0.5 pullback. Just to get a glimpse how this could look like. Volume can speed this up or slow this down. Yeah. I mean, in the absolute best case, yeah, for a little hopium, we could be already here, January 13. Yeah. If we say that our little higher low is enough, and what we are doing today is the A pullback. Yeah. So in that case, we most likely do tomorrow nothing. Yeah. In that case, I have to say there's a good possibility we could see something next week. I don't want to hype this, yeah, because some people will say, okay, I only see the bullish way, so I buy. Yeah. The problem with this right now is I can't say there is no chance for that. If we are here, well, and we're doing this, there is just no buy anymore, anything, buy-in anymore for Monday. I can't take this decision for you. I just can't. Yeah, I can only say I already have Marches and Junes. If we make a new low, I will go out of them. Just my personal thing. If we're not doing anything tomorrow, or starting with this higher low, my personal thing is I will hold them. Yeah. But let's see. But just saying, I mean, okay, you will watch this video 2 hours after now because I have to upload it and cut it. Yeah. But right now, to this second, this looks like a perfect break or retest. So it would be absolutely nice to see the bounce tomorrow. Yeah? Okay, good. Next one is GME. So for GME also, the full story with price targets, how could the squeeze look like, and is in the last video. I'll link it at the end of the video. we just look what we have done today. So let's zoom in. So also here, I have to say, we had absolutely market crash knife today, and GME didn't really do anything. We got a pullback candle in after hours, right? Yeah, but again, with that red Bitcoin, with 2% SPY knife, I would expect 20, 30, 50% for the memes. They didn't. For what the tracking changed, well, we had yesterday the thing that this was our B and this our A. With this break under this level, this can't be B anymore. So the only thing which makes sense right now is that this was a top. Yeah, it was a small top. This was just our tiny A. What A I'm talking about? Well, the A which brings us to the big A. Yeah, so you have to imagine here is then still a B. This is our big A, which is a small C. Yeah? So what would we do now? Well, a top makes a pullback. In that case, still, it's the same like AMC is doing. It's just a breakout retest. So in that case, this November 21st was still our higher low. Perfect under 718. We added a little higher low, got our breakout. There's still our A, B, C. This is our A. So this little A makes a pullback. And normally, as I'm always showing, an A pullback, you're taking from the V to the top. But this is only the small A. Yeah. So you do that for this A, not for this A, in my opinion. So from where would you take your V? Well, in this case, your V would be this. Yeah, because here is V, higher low, the run. And in that case, your 0.5 is here. 22.82, or the 618 at 22.09. Yeah, which, if you look, is a perfect breakout retest. Then you would go up again. Yeah? Tracking still stands. Your big A would be around 33 to 30-ish, something over this T landmark. And then you take a 0.5 from the V to the top. So in that case, this would look done like that. Up, down, squeeze. Yeah. How would that look like? So we have two versions. Version 1 is the more opium version. Yeah. So left is 2020, yeah, to September 2020 from April 2020. Right side is right now. Both games up, 1 hour, 1 hour. For the copium version, April 2020 was a V. The V of November 2020, 21st of November 2025. This here is your higher low. This would be this higher low. Here you would have your tiny higher low. This would be this tiny higher low. And if you look at this chart on regular hours, you have here a gap. Yeah? The same gap you have here. So this run here went over the old higher low. This one here went over the higher low, had a peak, a pretty it's like a head and shoulders here, the same like you have here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. And after that, you have a 0.5 pullback. So you could easily be just right now here. Yeah, I would say September 20 for copium. Yeah, so this would be tomorrow-ish. Yeah, bounce and go up. This would be version 1. For version 2, we have to zoom in a little bit. That means July 20 was your November 21st. Yeah? You see here your higher low. the same like here. Your little higher low, this one, would be July 20 to July also 20, just begin. And this breakout here also went over the higher low, the same like this. You kinda also have here in head and shoulders. The only difference is that the left shoulder is higher than the right shoulder, but I mean, that's micro tracking. And then you made a 0.618 pullback. Yeah, would be the same position we are right now in too. Yeah. For the next question, okay, do we have to do then all this here also? I don't think so. Yeah. Just because we didn't really saw these things in 2024 and 2025 either, I think at a certain part we will just macro break and jump. Yeah. In the worst case, we have to do that. Yeah. But I tell you, if we have to do this, then the fractal tracking on AMC is wrong. Or we have to really do try peak. And it will take way, way longer. Yeah. Because this year took us half a year. Fractals in the precipitation is getting longer and longer, so this would take a year if we just do that. Just say. Right now it still looks good. So as long as we're not breaking, in my opinion, under $22, $21, everything is still fine. If you're breaking down from here again, then I really have to say the alt MIF 17 is still there. I'm not seeing it right now, and we had pretty brave through the day. Just don't break it. Okay. Next one is FFAI. So for FFAI, I already said when I started this YouTube channel, I said, when I'm wrong, I will show it. I will say I'm wrong. So here, I was wrong. But I will track it to the death. Yeah, I will say it all the time and won't run away like some other people are doing. Yeah. The problem with FFAI is it killed today the tracking. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not tracking anymore. Yeah. And the fractal is not working, but it completely killed the bullish tracking once and for all. And I have to say, I had many alts. Yeah, alts like we're going just sideways. Alts, we're doing the monster candle pullback and it still takes weeks before we get the squeeze. The only alt I was not really seeing is just destroying months of work in one candle. And to say that on bullish news, because they had bullish news today. I really have to say, it really not happens often. I mean, on this channel, it only happened once, and that was on Weber. I was really fucking surprised. Yeah. Especially, after that, I searched for, I think, 1 hour to find this landmark. Till now, I didn't. The only thing I can say is this whole thing, which we tracked for since April 2025, this wasn't our high or low. This is our T. And this was our T drop. Yeah. I mean, okay, technically, this T is now finished. This could already be the bounce. But the shitty part about it is now we have to do the higher low. Now we have to do sideways going again. Maybe this monster candle and then the squeeze. Yeah. This could take weeks and months. This is just bullshit. And I'm really angry about this. Yeah. Or this stock is just delisting or go OTC. Yeah. I already said in the last videos, if we break under 82 cents, this stock is dead for me. Yeah. I will still track it. Yeah. Maybe it gets bullish again. Right now, this stock is just shit. And this candle is really stupid. Yeah. Okay. Then let's jump into BYND. So this, I have to say, the complete opposite of FFAI, because this is tracking perfectly. For the whole story, again, watch the previous videos. Today we will look what we have done today. Price targets, I mean, okay, I will say our next price target for our next move to A is 15 to 25. So let's zoom in. So what we were tracking for BYND is just our absolute V was October 16. And this whole thing till today is just our high low. And after the high low comes A. So I already said in the last videos, if we break under this level, we will go down. And I said we will go down to 66 cents because from 80 cents to 66 cents was our last gap. There is no gap left anymore. And because we have pretty high price targets and the chats are very short, but the pullbacks are taking very long, I'm the opinion, if this is bullish, we won't see these levels for a very, very long time. So it made sense that we fill this gap. So at market close, we didn't fill this gap by 0.0003 cents. And I already thought, my God, really? You're bouncing now with 0.003 cents? Really? But in after hours we did it. So everything is finished now. This is finished. Higher low is finished. This is V. The only thing which maybe could happen is now we're doing a little, the gap fill we can delete, a little higher low. The same we did in October. I mean, in October, it took 4 hours for the higher low. And then we go. And if you're doing the same shit here, like in October, this is a pretty nasty run. Yeah? Target 15 to 25. The only odd I have is, if you break downside from here, it's doing the same shit like FFA. That's the only dangerous part. Yeah, we already are under $1. So my oh shit line is 59 still. Yeah, I mean, you could maybe extend it to, I don't know, 50 cents. Yeah, but if you make here a new all-time low like FFAI, yeah, then everything since October 2025 is wrong again. Not seeing that yet, but after FFAI, I get a little bit, what do you say? Not nervous, but careful. Yeah? But still, this thing looks absolutely great. And I expected the gap fill for tomorrow. We already did it today. Let's see what happens. Maybe not tomorrow, but next week. Yeah? Not for no financial advice, no hyping. Yeah? Careful. But if this thing goes, perfect. Okay, next one is high-craft mining. So, for high-craft mining, I mean, it looks beautiful. Really, really beautiful. For the tracking, you can track this in 2 ways. First of all, symmetry. That means nothing different than you halve the stock, you take this sparse pattern here, flip it to this side, and read it from right to left. That looks like this. And it's kind of one-to-one. I mean, for this, it would go way lower. With my tracking, this here, this peak, is just our A. It's over the T-line. It's our A. What comes after an A? A 0.5 or a 0.618 pullback, which is 10 and $6. Yeah, and I think that it would be this move here, just not like this. It would be something like this. Just saying, only one danger here. If you look back here, you have the knife. You came instantly up again, and then you got the big knife. Yeah. You don't have to do it one by one, but we didn't do that yet. So the danger is still here that you might go up, come up again instantly. This would be then your lower high, and then your knife. Just saying. But this move should still be very quick. If you don't want to play puts, my tracking is still that this is just A. If you bounce here or at the 0.618, so here, your next target after that you still have B, which is 87 to 90. And then it's only the question, are you breaking all-time highs or not? And one little thing, I mean, that's just a theory. How is that, what is that looking like? It just looks like a cup. And if we do that, a handle. And if you don't know what the cup and handle pattern is, well, you're taking then the middle of the cup, trend line. I mean, okay, you can make that way more beautiful then, but you put that then here, and that's then your price target. And that's pretty high. Yeah, but it's a gold mine. Who knows what they are mining and digging out? Aliens, gold, platinum, whatever. Still, that looks fantastic, and I want that knife. Okay. Last one is DJT. So also for DJT, just a small update what we have done today. The big video, you can just watch the previous, or you will wait for the weekend videos. So let's zoom in. So DJT moved with the market today. Yeah, AMC and GME, pretty good stand against the flood. DJT pulled back. Previous tracking was that this was our A. Our A pullback was finished here, and we should have gone up from here. We didn't, clearly. Yeah, and I have to say that's most likely because I broke my rules, because it's a common rule. Your A is over the T. I got a little bit too bullish here. Yeah, so this whole thing is just higher low. How deep does this higher low goes? Well, to take here, we take our all-time low on November 21st to our peak. We are already under the 7.8. So I don't think the Trump media goes bankrupt. So we have to bounce here tomorrow, or going sideways tomorrow, but not lower. Yeah, if you break or touch 10.36, we will make a new low. Yeah, and this whole thing, yeah, since November is wrong. Yeah, not seeing that yet, but still, 4 levels. What would happen after that? If we bounce here, the next move should be very vertical. To, in my opinion, 28. Why? Just because this would be a small A. It has to be over the trend line. It has to be over T. And the breakout retest should be the 0.5 or 0.618. So we take this, and here comes the 2075. If you even want to go higher, yeah, you could say it will pull back to the 618. Then it is 24, 25-ish. Yeah? And then you just do pullback, B, C. For this, what is this, and so on, really did a longer video, not today. But in summary, we still need this big macro higher low. As soon as this is finished, we're starting with the real moves. So A would be 60, B 90, and then all-time highs. But before we do that, we have to finish this higher low. But I explained it in the last videos, and I will explain it in a big video on the weekend. Especially, I will update every stock we have on the weekend. Most likely it will be 2 videos, otherwise it would be a 3-hour video. And on the weekend I will add all stories, everything step by step. Just today it would be too long and too big. But all in all, except FFAI, the tracking and DJT, nothing changed. Yeah. And in DJT, it's just an old. FFAI destroyed itself. So that's the only one which the fractal destroyed itself. All other ones are still tracking perfectly. Okay. As always, if you liked it, leave a like. Explanation video will come here. Playlist here. And if you want to see more, leave another. Let's see what happens tomorrow.